On Mexico's Pacific coast lies a stretch of sand and sea so beautiful, where sapphire waters meet golden sands, a place so stunning they call it Costalegre, the happy coast. But where did this name come from? Is it an ancient phrase, passed down for generations? A creation of modern tourism marketing? Or does it reflect something deeper, an enduring spirit of joy and peace along these shores? The word Costalegre is a blend of two Spanish words, costa meaning coast and alegre meaning happy or joyful. Behind the name lies a story of pirates who once prowled its coves, indigenous traditions that shaped its identity, and a modern revival that almost never happened. Before it was known as Costalegre, this part of Jalisco's shoreline was simply wild country. 200-mile stretch between Puerto Vallarta and Manzanillo, it's dotted with bays, coves, and fishing villages that for centuries were isolated from the outside world. The modern name Costalegre first appears in the 20th century, but its identity is much older. Before maps labeled it, local fishermen called its coves abysmal nicknames: Bahía de Navidad, Bahía Tenacatita Carayes. Each name had a story tied to events at sea or life on land. Some historians believe the Happy Coast branding emerged from two sources. Number one, its tranquil, inviting bays in contrast to the stormier Pacific coastline further north. Number two, the easygoing lifestyle of the villages, where visitors noticed laughter, fiestas, and hospitality were just as constant as the tides. But to really understand the name, we need to go back much further to when the first people settled here. Long before Spanish ships appeared, this region was home to indigenous Nahua and Otomangue-speaking peoples. They thrived on fishing, coconut gathering, and salt production, a valuable trade item in pre-Hispanic Mexico. The coast was a meeting point. Inland trade routes from the Sierra Madre brought maize, obsidian, and textiles, while coastal trade brought shells, salt, and dried fish. These goods moved along the shore in canoes, making the bays hubs of connection. The indigenous name for the largest bay here, Bahía de Navidad, was Jalacapan, place of sandy water. Later, Spanish settlers renamed it after the date of its discovery in December, but the original meaning reflected the people's relationship with the land. The culture here valued seasonal abundance. When fish ran thick in the waters, communities would host convites, feasts filled with dancing and music. Spanish chroniclers were surprised by the joyfulness of these gatherings, which they described as coastal fiestas, unlike any inland celebration. It's possible this reputation for coastal happiness planted the first seeds for what would one day be called the Happy Coast. During the 16th and 17th centuries, the Costalegre wasn't just a peaceful paradise. It was a dangerous frontier. Spanish galleons carrying silver from Manila to Acapulco often passed near here, and word spread among English and Dutch privateers. One infamous pirate tale centers on the 1587 raid of Bahía de Navidad by Thomas Cavendish, an English privateer. He captured a Spanish ship loaded with silk, spices, and porcelain, treasures bound for Europe. Local legend claims Cavendish buried part of his loot in a cove near present-day Carayes, giving rise to whispered stories of lost treasure that still lure treasure hunters. The pirate era left more than just legends. It also changed settlement patterns. Villages moved slightly inland, hidden from the sea, and watchtowers were built on high points to spot approaching ships. Even in the 19th century, smugglers used these coves as hideouts. The danger kept this coast relatively unspoiled, a place outsiders hesitated to settle permanently, which preserved much of its natural beauty. For most of the 19th and early 20th century, the Costalegre remained off the beaten path. Roads were poor, and much of the coastline could only be reached by boat or horseback. This isolation meant the land was left in the hands of ranching families and fishing cooperatives. Then, in the mid-20th century, something changed. Wealthy Mexican and international visitors, artists, writers, and celebrities began seeking retreats away from crowded Acapulco and Puerto Vallarta. They discovered the Costalegre's untouched beaches, quiet villages, and crystal-clear waters. One of the first major developments came in the 1960s with the creation of private resorts in Carrais and Chamela. But unlike other tourist spots, these developments kept a low profile, focusing on privacy, nature, and a slower pace of life. The name Costalegre was officially promoted in tourism campaigns in the late 20th century. It was meant to brand the whole stretch as a unified destination, one that offered alegria, joy, tranquility, and a return to simpler pleasures. Today, the Costalegre is still relatively quiet compared to Mexico's major tourist centers. The Happy Coast name resonates because it reflects both the landscape and the lifestyle. Visitors talk about the friendliness of locals, the unhurried pace, and the feeling of stepping into a place untouched by modern chaos. In a way, the name bridges past and present. The indigenous celebrations, the survival through pirate raids, and the revival through selective tourism all share one theme: resilience paired with joy. This coast has faced challenges for centuries, but remained a place where life is celebrated. So while Happy Coast might sound like just a travel slogan, it's rooted in real history, and that's what gives it power. Why does the name still matter? Names hold power. They shape how we see places and how those places see themselves. For Costalegre, the name Happy Coast is more than just a marketing slogan or a geographic label. It is a living symbol, weaving together history, culture, nature, and aspiration. It is more than just a stretch of coastline. Today, Costalegre remains a sanctuary where nature thrives, traditions endure, and happiness is found in simple moments. Whether you come as a traveler or simply as a curious soul, the Happy Coast invites you to slow down, listen to its stories, and discover the joy that lies beneath the surface. Costalegre truly deserves its name. Until next time, may your travels be filled with wonder, and may you always find your own Happy Coast. Like and subscribe for more travel history adventures.